Hello my friends, Mark Thomas the Home Builder here, and welcome to my Home Outdoors channel. Today I am starting a series reviewing some high-end German forestry tools. This particular item, it's a OX48 aluminum, twisted aluminum splitting wedge. It's made by the Ochsenkopf company. They're a division of the Ghidorah company and tool company, and this particular item, it's a high-end 45-degree twisted aluminum wedge. And I don't know if you ever used a wedge before, but let me show you this little demonstration of why you need this. Let's think as if we're golfing, and let's just say we are about 75 yards away from the hole, and this ball is in some deep grass. Do you pull out your driver, or do you pull out your 3-iron? Would I do that? No. This is what I would do. I'd go to my trusty 52-degree Cleveland wedge. So, speaking of wedges, when you get certain types of trees, not all of them are the same. So let's take a look here and see what types of situations require a wedge. Okay, not all wood is the same. So let's take a look at 4 examples I have in the back of my truck. These are trees I picked out here in Michigan. This is green ash. Here's and it's not too bad to split. I could probably handle that with an axe or a maul. Here's some cherry. Somebody cut this one short. This was actually given to me, and it's pretty small diameter, so an axe will handle that. Maybe even like a hatchet even. Here is a piece of silver maple, and this one has a funny twist to it, and actually I took my chainsaw and cut that groove, and you'll see why in a minute. This is some, let's see, this is a white pine, and this is pretty wide diameter, and pine just has a lot of branches that come in it. This particular one does, so there's going to be a lot of knots and a lot of twisted grain, where like something like the ash tree, that's got a nice straight grain, and that's going to split. In other conditions too, is we're in August here in Michigan, so it's pretty hot, you know, we're in the middle of summer, and wood splits different now than it does when it's like in the middle of winter when it's frozen. And also depends on how long you've cut it, if it's has moisture in it or not. So let's show you, I will show you how the wedge works. Alright, so in all my experience of splitting firewood, I can tell you these 2 pieces right here, I selected these out of my pile. This one has a weird twist to it, and there's another branch that comes off there, so I can tell you that the grain has some twists and some knots in it. It's not going to split real nice, and that's where a wedge comes in real handy. And it's just like deep grass, and you're golfing, you go to your wedge, you don't go to your driver. And this white pine right here, this tends to have a twisted grain pattern in it as well. It's a pretty wide diameter tree, and that also, in my experience, splits best with a wedge. So let's test this out and see how it works. Alright, before I test out this aluminum splitting wedge, I do want to tell you a little bit about my experience with wedges. One of the very first ones I've tried out was the wood grenade, and this thing really has not worked very well at all for me. If I put it right in the middle of a big round piece, this thing will actually just get buried most of the time, especially if it has like a twisty grain to it. And one particular time I could never even get this thing out. I had to actually burn the log to retrieve this, and I really haven't used it since. I've tried this other wedge right here. This is a plain steel one, just the same taper that goes all the way up, nothing special to it. I probably have used this to try to retrieve that wood grenade and using the 2 together, but it really kind of seems like a waste of time. The next one is the S-Wing, the Sure Split, and this one is a major improvement of the other 2. It has these wings that come out. The one thing is, this being steel, the recommendation for driving a steel wedge is to never use steel on steel. It can be dangerous, it can splinter out, the splinters can get in the wood, can get in your hands, or if you weren't wearing eye protection, it could be dangerous. The steel pieces could fly. So I recommend using something else other than steel to hit a steel wedge. So today I want to just tell you a few advantages of this aluminum wedge over the other ones. Okay, this is what the manufacturer says about this particular wedge. It is extremely strong and lightweight compared to steel, aluminum. The properties of it is much lighter. This is only like 1.8 pounds, where that last wedge was, the steel one, was like 8.6 pounds. So that's a real nice thing, to not to have to lug around that extra weight. And aluminum will never rust. I have an aluminum trailer, as I'll show you in this video, or this picture right here. That particular trailer is made of aluminum, and you can see it hauls about 1.5 full cords of firewood at one time. And I've had this for years, and aluminum has held up great. I'm happy with aluminum. It's durable. Okay, the wedge is also, this one is unique to the others because it has this 45-degree twist to it. That might be a better way to see the twist. And as this is driving down the wood, it twists and splits the wood apart. That's the unique feature, and that is a patent that this company has on this particular design. And it has these deep, these acute grooves in there. That, and here, let's see, yeah, try to get a good angle where you can see the grooves. This is where the sticker came on, so the sticker has to wear off a little bit still. So, but that'll show you the grooves. So like in frozen wood, this won't pop out. Let's see what else. This is, yeah, it's great. I just like using this when I have a real large log. If I'm trying to load something on my trailer, it's too heavy to lift, I like using the wedge to split it apart and then take two halves instead of one big thing that might break your back. So that's the highlight of this. So now it's time to put this to the test. Alright, I do want to say that aluminum is suitable for hitting it with steel. So before we get started, I just want to recommend, for safety's sake, it's a good idea to wear gloves and glasses, safety glasses, and I like to cover my ears just for the sound. So let's go to work. Okay, sometimes it helps to just put a cut in it, so I did that, and just to help start the wedge. All right. Look at that twisty grain. Works good. All right, here I split that piece a couple times. Take a look at this twisted grain and that knot coming in there. That's where a wedge comes in handy. You'd have a hard time with an axe or a maul going through this stuff. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, let's try the next challenge. Let's try that wider piece of white pine that's in the back of my truck. I have it sitting on another log, and I'm gonna show you with the wedge how it works on that. All right, so take a look. Let's see, I'm back it so you can see a little bit more. Okay, this particular one I did not cut, but this has had most of the summer to sit outside and dry in the sun and cure. So sometimes if you study wood, you can see the crack and which way you think it might work. So I'm gonna just put this, following that, the way it's naturally cracking. See what happens. Alright, so here's the finished result. You can see that crazy twist pattern in that white pine. It's a difficult piece to split, but once I get it in half, then I can go to my maul and really start splitting it pretty fast. But a lot of times those big rounds, you got to split them in half first, and then you can go to town on them. So hopefully you enjoy that demonstration. If you do, please give me a comment or a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Thank you for checking out my video. As always, have a great day. Alright, so aluminum felling wedge, it's my new #1 go-to wedge for those tough pieces like that big knotty pine. And please check out some other videos I have coming up reviewing some of the Ochsenkopf tools. This particular one is the OX630 splitting maul. This right here is not something you find in your normal hardware store. This is high quality German steel. You're going to want to check that out. And also I have the felling lever. It is the OX58. Let me get the name on there for you. All right. And it has this cool cork handle. Really an awesome idea. Check that out too. Thanks for watching, my friends. Tschüss.